2:14 a.m., 40 floors, and I'm the only heartbeat in the building. I've watched these security cameras every night for 3 months. Tonight, floor 13's motion light is on. I didn't turn it on. Nobody entered the building. I zoom in. The hallway is empty. Then the light at the far end clicks off. Then the next. Then the next. One by one, they're going dark toward the camera. Toward me. Whatever's down there knows I'm watching. My name is Daniel, and at the time, I worked overnight security at a corporate tower downtown. The building had 40 floors, but only 38 of them were listed on the tenant directory. The lobby directory skipped from 12 to 14. Management told visitors it was a superstition thing. Plenty of older buildings did it. The elevator buttons did the same. 12, then 14. But inside the security system, the missing floor still existed. The camera labels called it 13. The access control software called it level 13. The elevator diagnostic panel called it 13F. It just wasn't supposed to be occupied. According to the floor plan in the security office, the space had been sealed during a renovation years earlier. No active tenants. No cleaning schedule. No fire inspection route except for one annual visit accompanied by building management. My nightly routine was simple. At 10, I locked the revolving doors and checked the visitor log. At 11, I verified that every temporary access card had been returned. At midnight, I printed the contractor report, checked the loading bay, and made my first patrol. At 2, I called the monitoring company on the radio. At 4, I did the second patrol. At 6, the morning guard relieved me. Most nights were quiet enough that I could hear the ice machines cycling in the cafeteria 3 floors above me. That night, before the motion lights started going out, nothing unusual had happened. No contractors were scheduled. The cleaning crew had left at 12:38. The final employee badge had exited through the parking garage at 12:51. The building had been empty for more than an hour. I checked the access card report first. Every door in the tower recorded a badge number, a timestamp, and whether access had been granted or denied. There was nothing for the 13th floor. No stairwell entry. No elevator access. No maintenance override. Still, the motion sensor was active. I switched the floor 13 camera to full screen. The feed showed a long corridor lined with unfinished drywall. Plastic sheeting hung over several doorways. At the far end was an emergency exit sign and a fire door leading to the east stairwell. The image looked normal. Then the final light nearest the camera went out. The corridor disappeared into darkness. A second later, the camera switched automatically into night mode. The picture returned in grainy black and white. Something was standing beneath the camera. I could only see the top of it. A dark shape directly below the lens. Too tall to be a toolbox. Too narrow to be a cart. I leaned closer to the monitor. The shape moved. Not away from the camera. Up. As if someone underneath it had slowly raised their face toward the lens. The feed froze. The timestamp stopped at 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 4 seconds. I grabbed the radio. Control to monitoring. I have a possible unauthorized person on 13. Static answered. I tried again. Control to monitoring. Radio check. Nothing. That wasn't normal. The external monitoring station was supposed to respond within 30 seconds, even if I only said the word test. I checked the phone line. No dial tone. Then the elevator behind me chimed. The sound echoed through the empty lobby. The floor indicator above the doors showed 13. The building's public elevators didn't have a 13th floor button, but they could still stop there during maintenance mode. I checked the diagnostic screen at my desk. Elevator 2 had been called from level 13. No badge authorization. No maintenance key. The elevator doors opened. No one was inside. The lights were on. The brass handrail reflected the empty lobby. The carpet was clean except for one dark footprint near the back wall. The footprint pointed outward. A second footprint appeared beside it. I don't mean I noticed it. I mean I watched the carpet darken in the shape of a shoe. Then another. The prints crossed the elevator floor toward the open doors. I backed away from the desk. The moment the first print reached the threshold, the doors closed. The elevator rose. 14, 15, 16. It stopped at 21. That was when I remembered the overnight incident procedure. Any unexplained access event had to be physically verified unless there was a visible weapon or an active threat. Management had created the rule after a pipe burst on an empty floor and flooded 6 offices because the previous guard had assumed a motion alarm was faulty. If I ignored the event and nothing was wrong, I could lose my job. If I went upstairs and found an intruder, I was supposed to retreat and call the police. I tried my phone again. Still dead. My mobile showed no signal. The lobby normally had full reception. I opened the emergency drawer and took out the master key ring, flashlight, and body camera. Before leaving, I printed the latest access report. The printer produced one page. At the bottom was a new entry. 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 33 seconds. East stairwell, level 13. Access granted. The badge number belonged to me. My badge was clipped to my belt. I took the west stairwell. The elevator was out of the question. The west stairwell was concrete and brightly lit, with cameras on every fifth landing. I moved slowly, checking the fire doors as I climbed. Floor 10 was locked. Floor 11 was locked. Floor 12 was locked. Then I reached the landing between 12 and 14. There was a door there. I had climbed those stairs dozens of times and never noticed it. The sign read 13. The door was open 2 inches. A strip of cold air moved through the gap. I stopped and listened. At first, I heard nothing. Then came a soft electronic beep. The same sound the card readers made when access was granted. Beep. Pause. Beep. Pause. Someone was using a badge on the other side. I aimed my flashlight at the gap and pushed the door open. The corridor looked exactly like the camera feed. Unfinished walls. Hanging plastic. Dark ceiling panels. But the motion lights were all on again. At the far end, the east stairwell door was slowly closing. I checked my body camera. The red recording light was blinking. I announced myself. Building security. If anyone is on this floor, identify yourself. No answer. I stepped into the corridor. The west stairwell door closed behind me. I immediately turned and pulled the handle. Locked. That shouldn't have been possible. Stairwell doors were designed to let anyone return to the stairs during a fire alarm. I used the master key. It turned, but did not release the lock. Then a voice came from one of the unfinished suites. Security. It sounded like a man speaking quietly from behind plastic. I raised my flashlight. Come out where I can see you. The plastic sheet moved inward, as though someone behind it had taken a step back. I approached just far enough to see inside. The room beyond was not unfinished. It was a security office. My security office. The same desk. The same monitors. The same coffee cup beside the keyboard. But the office was old. The carpet was stained. The monitors were bulky, square screens. A paper calendar hung on the wall. November 2004. A guard sat with his back to me. He wore the same company uniform I did, but an older version. On the monitors were camera feeds from the building. Every feed showed an empty floor. Except one. The 13th floor camera showed me standing behind him. The guard looked at the monitor. Then he slowly turned his chair. His face was dark and swollen, as if seen through water. His uniform badge read Michael Reyes. I knew that name. It was printed on a brass memorial plate in the staff locker room. Michael Reyes had been the night guard who disappeared during the tower renovation. Management told new hires he had abandoned his post. The official story was that he walked out during his shift and never returned. But he was here, or something wearing what remained of him was here. He raised one hand and pointed at the monitors. Every camera feed changed. Now they all showed the same image. Me, standing in that room. From different angles. Lobby camera. Parking garage camera. Elevator camera. 40th floor camera. Every screen showed me on 13. Then Michael spoke. It needs a guard. I backed toward the corridor. The plastic behind me had stopped moving. The doorway was gone. There was only a solid wall. Michael stood. The body camera on my chest beeped. Its recording light went out. Then every monitor displayed the same message. Shift transfer accepted. I pulled my master key ring from my belt and threw it across the room. Michael's head snapped toward the sound. At the same moment, the fire alarm began screaming. Red strobes flashed. The building's emergency system unlocked every stairwell door. The wall behind me became a plastic-covered opening again. I ran. Behind me, the old guard shouted something I couldn't understand. I reached the west stairwell, slammed the door, and took the steps 2 at a time. The fire alarm continued for exactly 40 seconds. Then everything stopped. The lobby phone had a dial tone again. My mobile had full signal. The elevator sat at the first floor as if it had never moved. I called the police and reported an intruder. 2 officers searched the building with me and the morning supervisor. Floor 13 was not accessible from the west stairwell. There was no door between 12 and 14. When we entered through a maintenance hatch, the floor was empty and unfinished. No security office. No old equipment. No Michael Reyes. But we found my master keys in the middle of the corridor. The access system showed that I had entered floor 13 at 2:18. Then it showed my badge exiting at 5:57. I had been back in the lobby before 2:30. The body camera file was corrupted except for 7 seconds. In the video, I was standing in the dark corridor, facing the camera, not wearing it. My body camera was filming me from several feet away. Behind me stood a man in an old security uniform. He leaned toward my ear and whispered, "See you next shift." Management told me to take the rest of the week off. When I returned to collect my belongings, the brass memorial plate in the locker room had been removed. The tower's security contractor denied that anyone named Michael Reyes had ever worked there. I quit anyway. 3 months later, I received an envelope with no return address. Inside was a photocopy of the overnight visitor log. The date at the top was from the night I had been on 13. 2 guards were listed. Daniel Mercer, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Michael Reyes, 2:18 a.m. to present. Underneath both names, someone had written, "Relief required." ## story 2. The checkpoint's the second story happened to a guard named Marcus, who worked nights in a smaller office tower near the interstate. His building only had 18 floors, but unlike mine, every floor was occupied. Marcus's job required him to complete 2 full patrols each night. Each stairwell door, electrical room, mechanical floor, and loading bay entrance had a small metal checkpoint mounted beside it. To prove he had inspected each location, Marcus carried a handheld scanner. He touched the scanner to the checkpoint. It beeped, and the time was uploaded to the security computer. There were 46 checkpoints total. If he missed one, the morning supervisor knew. Marcus had worked there for almost a year and could complete the entire route in 55 minutes. The first strange thing happened on a Tuesday. He was drinking coffee at the lobby desk when the patrol program chimed. Checkpoint 17 complete. Checkpoint 17 was on the 9th floor east stairwell. Marcus was still in the lobby. He assumed the system had uploaded an old scan late. Then another message appeared. Checkpoint 18 complete. That one was inside the 9th floor mechanical room. The 2 scans were 9 seconds apart. Marcus opened the live camera feed for the 9th floor. The hallway was empty. He checked the patrol scanner in his hand. The device showed 0 scans. A 3rd checkpoint completed. Then a 4th. Something was moving through the 9th floor, following his exact patrol route. Marcus called his supervisor. The supervisor said the checkpoint batteries occasionally malfunctioned and told him to make a note in the incident log. Marcus did. For the next hour, nothing happened. At 1:30, he began his real patrol. The first 8 floors were normal. On the 9th floor, the stairwell door was propped open with a rubber wedge. Marcus never used wedges. They violated fire code. He removed it and scanned checkpoint 17. The scanner beeped. Its screen displayed, "Duplicate entry." That meant the system believed the checkpoint had already been scanned during the same patrol window. He entered the mechanical room. Checkpoint 18 was mounted beside a row of electrical panels. Underneath it, written in white dust, were 4 words. "You are behind schedule." Marcus took a photo. When he checked it, the writing did not appear. The wall looked clean. He backed out of the room. The lights in the hallway switched off one section at a time. Not toward him, away from him, as though someone was walking ahead, triggering each sensor before entering the darkness. Marcus returned to the lobby and locked the security office door. At 2:03, the patrol software began updating again. Checkpoint 19. Checkpoint 20. Checkpoint 21. The Phantom Patrol had moved to the 10th floor. Marcus watched the camera feeds. On each floor, the camera switched briefly to static at the exact moment a checkpoint completed. Then the image returned. No person. No open door. No visible movement. At 2:17, the program reported, Checkpoint 29 complete. Marcus knew that number without checking. Checkpoint 29 was inside the vacant suite on the 14th floor. The tenant had gone bankrupt 2 months earlier. The suite was sealed, and Marcus did not have a key. Only property management could enter. He opened the suite camera. It showed a dark reception area with empty desks and cardboard boxes. A flashlight beam crossed the far wall. Marcus froze. The beam moved slowly, as though carried by someone walking through the room. Then it stopped. The light turned toward the camera. For 1 second, the beam illuminated a man wearing a security uniform. His head was lowered. He carried the same model scanner Marcus held in his hand. The camera went black. Marcus called the police. While waiting, he watched the patrol system continue. Checkpoint 30. Checkpoint 31. Checkpoint 32. The Phantom Guard was descending. 14th floor. 13th. 12th. Moving toward the lobby, Marcus checked the building's employee records. 3 guards were assigned to the property. Marcus, his morning relief, and a weekend guard. No one else. Then he searched the archived schedules stored in a desk cabinet. 6 years earlier, a 4th guard had worked the overnight shift. His name was Leonard Shaw. According to an incident report, Leonard had disappeared during a patrol. His scanner had been found in the 14th floor vacant suite. Management believed he had left through an emergency exit and abandoned his job. There was one detail in the report Marcus couldn't stop reading. At 2:03 a.m., the night Leonard vanished, the checkpoint system continued recording scans for another 37 minutes. The final scan had been completed inside the lobby security office. Marcus looked at the patrol display. Checkpoint 44 completed. Loading bay. Checkpoint 45 completed. Lobby restroom. Only one remained. Checkpoint 46. Security office. Marcus placed his scanner on the desk. Something touched the office door from the hallway. Not a knock. A soft plastic tap. The sound of a handheld scanner touching a metal checkpoint. The computer chimed. Checkpoint 46 complete. Patrol officer, Leonard Shaw. The office door handle turned. Marcus held it shut with both hands. A voice spoke from the other side. You missed one. Marcus did not answer. The voice repeated itself. You missed one. Then Marcus remembered the checkpoint in the 14th floor suite. Checkpoint 29. He had never scanned it himself. The Phantom Patrol had completed it, but Marcus had not. The system still considered his own patrol unfinished. The police arrived at 2:46. They found Marcus locked inside the office. No one else was in the building. The door camera showed nothing approaching the office, but the audio captured a scanner beep and Marcus struggling with the handle. The officers searched the vacant suite on 14. The door was still sealed. Property management arrived with a key. Inside, they found no intruder. But beneath a pile of old carpet near the back wall, they found a handheld patrol scanner. It belonged to Leonard Shaw. Its battery had been dead for 6 years. When investigators replaced the battery, the device turned on. It contained one unfinished patrol. 45 checkpoints had been completed. The only missing location was checkpoint 29, the room where the scanner had been found. Management removed the entire checkpoint system the following week. Marcus transferred to daytime security. For several months, nothing else happened. Then one morning, his supervisor received an automated patrol report from the old software. The server had been disconnected. The checkpoints had been removed. There should have been no data at all. The report showed 46 completed scans. Officer name, Leonard Shaw. Start time, 2:03 a.m. End time, blank. In the notes section was a single sentence. New guards still behind schedule.